All right, yogi. So opening meditation. Again, your position choice. I'm seated on a block, cross-legged. A position for a good 2 to 3 minutes, maybe, that allows you to kind of step into a self-awareness intention. Remember, some days the body is a focus of the conscious awareness. You're practicing this idea of I'm connecting my mind to my body. Some days it's the mind to the breath, or as some yogis have said, be the breath. Delve into it maximum with your awareness. Feel it, control it, link to it, experience it. Some days it's more like the senses. You're working on closing your eyes through the whole thing. Like what's like the taste, the flavor of the different poses and the movements. These are different layers of the practice you could focus on. When we do similar flows and exercises, you can take a different stance mentally with your perception of how you're attempting to experience it. Go deeper into this thing called reality and being in the practice via your choice and, an intention. And if you go further, it becomes this kind of study of your thoughts. Remember the Buddha said the double thinker. You have this aware mind that can kind of look at your thoughts. Some days you don't worry about the breath or the body. You're using the practice to kind of study this thought aspect of yourself, emotional aspect, your character, your beliefs. These are all layers we kind of become more aware of in yoga of ourselves, yogis. So what type of day is it? Is it a beginner, basic, superficial day, the breath and the body? Is it a little deeper with the senses and your thoughts? Or are you going really deep? There's your philosophy to kind of get the mind churning as you start here. We're going deeper into the body, yogis. Go deeper into your thoughts and, have this be a potent experience. You're experiencing yourself in many ways. Okay. So remember, today is a very challenging style of practice, often called power yoga or vinyasa. These are kind of higher level demands in the yoga world. Just pace yourself. Have fun with it, right? Add your kind of style in what I'm doing. Again, letting that kind of inner intention kind of guide you. I'm just kind of suggesting many things, all right? I'll continue forward. Tabletop position, please. And, again, it's kind of like 3 levels. First level is cat-cow. I pretty much do this every time I exercise, whether it's in like a crunch or whether it's in, a back cobra. Sometimes I like to circle more. I'll skip the linear. Some days I'll isolate the hips. Some days I'll go right to child pose and cobra flow, right? What's your kind of intuition, your heart, your spirit telling you? Because they all could be good choices. Then they're all kind of the same. Okay? You can add a little wrist stretch here, yogis. Again, some mornings you really need the breathing. You got to wake up that kind of energy that feels almost kind of stuck in there. You might be good at feeling tight, big muscles. Can you recognize when the breath feels almost tight? And you got to really free that kind of energy, muscular pattern up. For me, this morning wouldn't really be a breath day. I'm in this kind of philosophical thought mode, so I would delve into that. That's alive this morning, right? So down dog is next. Take your time, and again, pause and dog, move around a little, maybe shift forward and back a few times.
You make it your own. I'm even kind of like dancing in dog, right? I'm even like lifting a leg. Shift the plank for a moment, almost move in spaces like vinyasa is this idea of like the space in between, making movement sacred. Put your heart and soul into the movements with the forms, with the breath. It's all kind of linking. Vinyasa is often defined as arriving at a location in the most sacred of ways. You're moving to the next pose in a very sacred, heartfelt way, okay? Walk your feet to the front of your mat. Maybe move a little bit here, yogis. Again, vinyasa might be suggested to kind of explore more. Be this artist in your practice. This vinyasa is the artistic expression of ourselves, whereas sometimes yoga gets too kind of structured, rigid, dogmatic, almost like you're bad if you go over here. You stay in here, good yogi. But be the artist now, this kind of creator aspect within the practice. Okay, continuing setting up our first flow, yogis. Inhale, we're going to stand up. Okay, I'm going to reach the arms up and just going to get you into a slow flow here. I'm going to side bend you over to the right. And I'm going to move a little bit faster, a little bit more structured. I'm going to kind of give you direction. Inhale back to center, over to the left. Now again, I'm not forcing this, yogis. I could go much deeper, right? But I'm turning on muscles. I'm engaging my legs. This harmony of stretch and strength, okay? Inhale back center. Exhale, hands behind the back. Take the little inhale. Lift the heart, the micro back bend. Okay, you can also just keep your arms separate. We also lift the heels. Think of it like bridge here, yogis. Okay? Slowly start to forward fold. Again, eyes are closed if you can, so you can be internally present. Okay? Big inhale. Hands plant. A couple extra push-ups might do you well here. But again, if you did a lot yesterday, maybe you skip it. You're just flowing through this dance at your own pace, giving extra focus where you need it. Okay? Taking it down to the chest. Inhale, here's a Cobra 1. Some of you might want to go up and down, maybe Cobra 2. Others might take a little dance in Cobra, hands wide. Right elbow toward earth, right shoulder. I look left. Inhale, little lift. Look right, left shoulder down. Now, yogis, I don't teach this that much. It is a pretty challenging movement, actually. So take it slow. Last few moments down here on the chest in your kind of variation. Can the body express kind of what the spirit's talking, right? Can the body express these deeper aspects of the mind, heart, spirit? Almost like a language, right? Child pose may be quick, yogis. And then let's pick this up a little bit, all right? Down dog, a little bit stronger. A little bit more controlled, maybe. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high. Now, option to stay here for the stretch or this kind of one first round of, let's call it core work. Knee to elbow, knee to forehead. Don't forget you can drop the knee and do it down here too. Just because I'm suggesting a building type of practice where there's challenge doesn't mean it served you. The spirit might be saying, whoa, slow down, be caring today. Let's go, guys. Step your right foot forward, back knee down. We're going through a slow flow, okay? You're kind of pausing where you need. This is very stretchy. This is a little easier. This is going big, right? And then this is going strong. What are you feeling like today? But also, what do you need? So what aspect of yourself you listen to that the voice on the right shoulder might be saying, be easy always. But then this one's saying, go hard. How about in the middle? You listen to some of them both times. Okay, nice and slow, straighten the front leg. If you're in lunge, you do pyramid. If you're down on the knee, you do half splits. If you want more strength, you're here. You see how I'm kind of giving you suggestions. So I'll lead you, but not decide what you do. I like to make vinyasa like a paint and sip. I'm up here giving you a painting, but everyone paint look different. Some people painting a whole different thing. Okay, big inhale. Listen, hands plant, right foot goes back. I'm on the left knee. Spin open to the right, bring the right arm high. And you get the option to stay here. Just work the bridge, tuck the tailbone, lift the chest. Yogis, on a good day, look at me here. I like to kind of like dance in all these little poses, right? So another way we can kind of get into vinyasa, we hold this a lot, and that's good some mornings. But look at me dancing up in this pose. If I was feeling really good and I wanted to go big, I might take a vine. Okay, we're not done yet here, yogis. Please take your time. I'm switching angles so you can see. I'm going to bring the right hand down, the right foot out to the right. Okay, slow, please. Inhale, left arm. And exhale, right, left hand toward the right foot, left shoulder down. Right, I could half bind here. I could start to do a lot of different things. I'll keep this one a little more simple. I thread the needle with the right leg all the way out to the side. Take your time now, your practice, your pace. The pace is also very personal, like the timing element of this all. Okay, continuing, yogis, right hand down, inhale, left arm high. Listen, left hand down, right knee down. Anahata pose today. The hands slide forward, the forehead starts down, the hips are over. It's kind of like child pose, yogis, but hips remain over knees. Now with practice, you'll bring your lips, your chin, and I'm starting to show you more of the position. Anahata's heart, or heart energy center, and I'm bringing the heart chakra down. Go slow, guys. Slide forward, cobra position. Inhale, lift the chest. If you want to try a little extra, I could bend one knee, turn open a little to the right. So I'm taking a little bit of a creative expression you can see today. Okay. The left knee can bend and reach over. I'm almost in this kind of midway cobra, not my highest, not the low one. I'm in between. I'm almost opening the hip, rolling side to side. I'm dancing in the cobra again, right? Look, think of how the cobra moves. It's fluid, it's flowing. We did one for the upper body, lower earlier, shoulders and neck. And then we're doing a little bit more for the lower body. A suggestion. Be careful following the hippie weird yoga guy, right? Child poses next, please. And then find your way back to down dog. Second side of kind of like opening sequence, a little bit more on the ground. Left leg rises. Take a moment. Remember, here is the stretch. Here's the core work. You could be on the knee. You could do an arm balance, a Kundalini. Which one is kind of, you're practicing listening to the spirit or the intuition of the heart, or your, whatever it is, your guardian angels, the universe, nature. What guides you in this life, right? That's what you're tuning into better and better. Left foot will step forward, back knee will go down. Here's in the middle, right? Arms up for more, hands on knee or blocks for a little less. This is if you're going really big and stretch. This is if you're going a little stronger. Again, they're all kind of the same. So let's call that a back bend, right? It's a cow pose for the stretch of the abs. And now you get into the cat, you straighten the front leg, yogis. Okay, you take your time here, and now you can see my spine is like the cat. I pull my left hip back, I'm here. You know, full splits is going big. Hovering is more strength. Pyramid is the big upright active form. What do you feel? You always do it one way. You might be listening to the one voice too much. You have many different kind of approaches for different benefits. Don't get trapped, yogis. You got to be your own kind of objective witness and devil's advocate. Continuing, front knee bend, right foot pivots, left leg goes up. Now I started to dance here a little bit, right? I started to kind of feel this space you're good at, and I just started to move. Okay, you see me, I'm kind of just dancing. I'll show you on this side again, but you know, I just started to feel out of space in a way I haven't in a while. I'm moving the core a little bit. I'm moving the hip. Okay, the shoulders even. If I wanted to go big, I do the bow behind me. If I want a little lighter, I drop the right foot down. Okay. Go slow, please. Left hand down, left foot goes wide on your mat. Inhale, right arm. Okay. Exhale, right arm toward left foot, arms. Ear down, shoulder down, maybe left arm around the back. Remember, eyes are kind of closed as much as possible. Ideally, you're kind of listening. I know you like your visuals and demonstrations, but not too much eyes dominating experience, okay? Continuing, yogis. Go slow now. Unwind. Anahata pose here, guys. Arms forward, chest down, or forehead down. Right, we had the forward bend, the back bend, the lateral, the rotational, right? Doing pretty good in a complex warm-up here. Cobra pose. If you want to try it, we call it side cobra. I did a twisty thing in the upper and lower. I start to roll all the way to the side. So we call this side cobra. I literally could roll right onto my butt. Dandasana. Hips stay down, legs stay down, this rolling cobra. We've done this before, it's probably been a year and a half, but you roll through that middle cobra, not your deepest, and all the way to the side, all the way to the back. Boom, I'm rolling. I could also kind of bring a foot down. And you got to be careful of that kind of rigid mentality of the forms of the body. Sometimes yoga, we get too kind of critical about certain forms, okay? Go slow, child pose, down dog. All right, that's first flow. All right, take a moment, start over. Kind of come to a neutral place in your mind and your breathing. Remember what you're working on. And, you know, as practice goes, maybe breath or thoughts were first and body. And then as you're getting into it, you might change what your focus is. On your next inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Hopper step forward. Okay, inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Watch the movement, yogis. Arms crossed. Inhale, up to the right, down to the left. Exhale. Back up to the left, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale. Yogis, I'm challenging you today, right? A lot of kind of awkward, weird, undiscovered, less often visited spaces. So I'm circling, swaying, fluid flowing, not stiff, rigid. Last times you're circling, maybe reversing. And you might notice, you might feel this in the back a little bit, right? Especially in an 8 a.m. practice. All right, go slow, please. Next time you forward fold, take the inhale, half lift. You kind of activate the back symmetrically. That's down dog. All right, optional vinyasa, maybe taking your up dog now. Top of the feet turned down. Arms straight, legs hovering more. Down dog. So no leg lift, right foot forward. I'm speeding it up a tiny bit, warrior. This is the high lunge now, yogis. Some of you already did it. Just take a breath or two in your lunge. After so much kind of dancey stuff, maybe you kind of tighten up a little. We're combining both. So you're in that nice high lunge. Continuing on. Stand up, please. Left knee lifts. Your right foot still at the front of your mat. You just brought your left leg forward and up in front of you. Take the twist, nice and slow. Right hand, left thigh, left arm back. Notice I'm leaning forward. Try to get the hips over the heel, over the spine, over the neck. It's all stacked, yogis. Okay, let's keep going. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, Ekapada Uttanasana. The standing splits. Option, stay here. Don't forget, bending the knees can be smart here. And just kind of getting low, keeping the belly and the spine long. If you want to get going, handstand, hopping here, the Shakti kick. Hands plant, standing knee bends, little hop onto those hands, a fun, playful moment. Maybe that's not your thing this morning, though. I totally get it. I'm not a big handstander at 8 in the morning, personally. Okay? I'll continue, yogis. Left foot at the back of the mat. Rise, warrior two. Take a moment now. So yeah, I'm throwing a little curveball at you in a posture you're good at, hitting it right down the middle of this pose. But what if I change up the quality? You have to adapt. Face the side in your warrior two. Bring the hands behind the lower back today. We call this humble warrior two. Don't let your knee buckle in, guys. Knee opens. Lift the heart. I'm bowing in front of me to the side. Whereas humble warrior one is forward, this one's to the side. You can't let the spine round too much now or the knee buckle in. Take a couple breaths. Feel it. Don't go too deep. Okay. Rise up. Inhale. Arms go high. Lateral lunge. So now my front leg, it's still on the first side there, straightens. Your back knee bends. Often Skandasana if you go deep, but I cue lateral lunge to keep you strong. Okay, big inhale, last part here, guys. Half moon. If you need triangle or side angle, feel free. I'm kind of getting you going now. We already did half moon, actually. Right knee bends, left leg lifts. Chest comes more parallel to the floor, but open to the side. You know me, I like to suggest keeping the hand off the floor, right? I'm working this core. If I put the hand down, the core can almost get lazy, and then your structure is not supported muscularly. Continuing on, yogis, no rush here, please. Left foot at the back of your mat. Parallel your feet, take the nice big inhale, a basic pose for you now. The Prasarita, I lift the heart, the feet are parallel, and I'll meet you in the forward bend. Now, yogis, it's kind of like an inversion moment. You headstand, you put the crown chakra down. Remember how we put the heart chakra down? Your root chakra is always down. Your second chakra is down all the time. Your third chakra is down all the time. The crown chakra doesn't ground down as much. How many poses do you put the crown of the head on the earth?
A few, right? Headstand kind of being the apex inversion of the crown. Last moments here, maybe a little dance. And just to be clear, there's a work moment coming after this, yogis, all right? I'm gonna let you flow a little bit in like a plank, okay? So no rush here, guys. You're in your straddle, a couple of years doing your headstand. You're gonna slowly bend the knees, meet me in straddle, walk your hands to the front of the mat, step your left foot back. So I mentioned this idea a couple times already of dancing in plank. I'm gonna drop the heels to the right, drop the heels to the left, drop the heels to the right, heels to the left. Maybe I start to bend the knees. So I drop my heels to the right, I'm actually bending. Maybe I drop the heels to the left, I do a push-up. Maybe I take the heels all the way to the right and I go to side plank. You're gonna get 2 rounds of exploratory, moving, dancing plank. Another fun one, guys, is to flip the plank. Drop the butt, push up, back up, side plank, flip plank. You're kind of moving today, guys. I had you hold some poses just now. Get it moving now. Last moments here. Optional back bend, cobra, up dog, sphinx, down dog. Take a breath or two. You kind of a 10-second minimalist approach. You hold a position where you just center for a moment, mentally, physically, energetically. You do almost nothing for a moment. Maybe a breath or something. You remember your goals, your mantra, your vision of your desires, okay? Second side, please. Big inhale and exhale. Left foot forward, inhale, warrior 1. Remember, last week we did this kind of repeating flow. I'm switching up with a style of vinyasa, all right? So a nice sturdy warrior here. Just a breath or 3. We're not here very long, guys. We do this posture a lot. Can always hold longer. Big inhale. Back foot steps forward up to the chest. Pause for just a brief moment. Ekapada Tadasana. Eyes closed, experienced practitioners. Right arm back, left arm forward. The standing high twist. Look at the back hand. Don't forget, I mentioned intermediate yoga, or the stepping into it, is kind of be very aware of your senses and how they're relating to your life and health and energy. The eyes are kind of that first big gateway there, where you're becoming very aware of how the eyes act. All right, go slow, please. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, standing splits. You did split with the knee down earlier. Now it's the big one. Drop your right hip, lift the right leg. Optional handstand, hot binding, jiva squatting. Warrior 3 is kind of a substitute or a similar position. Take another couple breaths now. Feeling your variation out. Have a little fun, a little challenge. Remember, today's that day. We do a lot of these big, awkward, uncomfortable practice styles. All right, tomorrow is the feel-good recovery day. Go slow, right foot at the back of your mat. Rise, warrior 2. And we're not in these basics for too long, yogis. So you set up the warrior 2 legs. Okay, and then the humble warrior 2. Hands behind the back. Now what you can't see is I'm gripping the opposite way. My left pinky's in the back now. I turn to the side, I tuck my tailbone, I lift the heart, inhale, roll the shoulders back, and then I bow. It's like the straddle forward fold. Humble warrior 2 today. If it's weird, you're doing it right. Okay, continuing, go slow. Inhale, rise up. Arms can go up for a moment and then wide. So you held the long lunge. Now we switch legs, which means my front leg straightens, my back foot. So you were in this front leg is externally rotated in warrior two with the knee bend. So now I internally rotate it with the knee straight. And the same is true for the back leg. It does opposite rotation and knee action. So bends, and I'm in a lateral lunge, yogis. Skandasana is going all the way down. Okay, I'm keeping you up higher. It's a strength challenge moment. The goal really isn't to go deep today. Okay, it's a position you kind of stretch too much. Think of it like chair. Here we go. Through warrior two, tiptoe the back foot in a little, a half moon. Yogis, you get a rest after this. You know it. You get the straddle forward fold. So make this a effort moment. Whereas in the last pose, you're kind of in a squat, chest leaning back, bent knee. Now you're in a straight leg and you're laterally hinging more. And then you work there, yogis. You have some fun. Again, you can bind, we do jiva squats from there. In more advanced yoga, we kind of cartwheel to handstand. You know, just a reminder where you're headed one day, right? Okay, continuing, right foot at the back of your mat. Inhale, we call this a camel or standing back bend. I parallel my feet, I lift my chest, bend the knee with the long spine, I forward fold. And it's a quick headstand. If you want to explore, loosen up a little bit, that might be good. Pulling on the floor, stretching your wrists, shaking your head a little for the neck release. Could all be good options here. If you want a huge stretch, crawl your feet apart laterally. That is a horizontal straddle split. It's one of our biggest stretches, right? We already kind of did splits twice. Now it's the straddle split. If you want to get flexible, yogis, you know, doing splits and straddles is a good strategy probably, right? Continuing, walk your hands to the front of your mat, the dancing plank. No rush if you're having fun. Can I show you a really challenging version quickly? This is optional, but it is the dancing low plank. Now, whether you do this on the knees to start, I get in the low plank, and the space I always go through like a robot, linear. I rush through, I dance it. Look at me going back to almost a child pose on my knees, lower than normal. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, a little circular. Can I show you more? And then I'll let you flow. This is not easy, guys. Low plank, right foot off my mat behind me. Low plank, maintain. Obviously, there's a little give, but I'm actually flipping the low plank. Just like you flip your dog, just like you flip your high plank, eventually we flip the low plank. We also, all the time, lay on the chest the easiest and flip here. It's the same thing, but now done in the most kind of difficult space. The dancing plank, high plank, fluid flowing. One more good, 30 seconds here. Neutralize, a child pose, a down dog eventually. Get ready for the next part. Class keeps going. The tour keeps going. If you've seen enough, you can, leave the tour whenever you want. If you see something we wish you spent more time with on the tour keeps going. You just catch up to the tour when you're ready. Who cares if you miss a couple of the exhibits? It's an infinite museum we're trying to explore here. We have to pick areas to give our attention to. And we all have different kind of interests and things we're here for. Okay, so down dog, please. down dog. Hopefully that really worked your upper body, right? So instead of having you hold planks today, I gave you moments to explore. All right, down dog, big inhale. When things get tough mentally, emotionally, remember your goals now. You're always evolving the inner process of inspiration. Walk your feet to the front of your mat. Chair pose. All right, nice basic now for you. Feel it, find it. Right arm goes under left.
Intertwine your forearms. Right knee lifts in chair. Right thigh crosses. So this was tricky, right? Eagle, I have to externally rotate my right hip to cross, but then I have to internally rotate that same right hip to get that hook, the right foot behind the left calf. So that's a cool one. Knees go back to the right, I sit low, but yogis, I want you to engage your hips. Don't just drop down into depths without muscular engagement. All this like hyper stretching constantly in yoga is not really good for a lot of us. You know, you got to be aware, yoga, you know, is misunderstood often, the style of exercise. Continuing, please go slow. Inhale, arms and knee up. Active bow today. If you want to do standard bow or dancer, you could bind the hand. But I'm going to have you do this one, yogis. My fingertips touch. Fingertips touch. These are last standing poses. Fingertips touch. Roll the shoulders back. Straighten the arms. Squeeze the heel to the butt. Now look, I lift my chest. Pull the knee back. Breathe. So I'm trying to actively touch here. Now don't overarch your back either. Okay? Just be a little aware of the hyper arch and tuck the tailbone a tiny bit. Okay? So active bow. It's a very dancer-esque pose. Okay? Big inhale. Left foot down, arms down. Maybe give it a little shake out. So we did some standing splits. We did high standing twist and half moon already twice. These are the cross and the kind of back bend yogis, all right? Last standing poses. Chair. Left arm under right, Garudasana Eagle. So really nice release for the back, the shoulders, okay? The neck almost too. Left knee lifts, cross left thigh, hook left foot behind right ankle. My knees pull back left. Now I either pull my elbows down or I reach my elbows up. It's not like one is necessarily better, but some type of active intention. The arms aren't just kind of floating, doing their own mindless thing. The goal is active, yogis. If your body is weak, it is a huge red flag. You know, fit people do tend to live longer with lower all-cause mortality rates, right? We avoid illness and problems by being physically fit. Okay, go slow. Inhale, arms and knee up. Exhale. So you were just kind of here. Now you're here, right? So they're kind of like opposites. Now I automatically go into back arch. Just a little bit of tuck the tailbone. Little bit of tuck the tailbone. Chest lifts, heel to butt, arms back. I'm not binding. We already did that a few times. Everything is now active. No assist. No other body part helping you push further into range of motion. Every pose eventually kind of active, yogis. I'm going to exercise and practice tonight, all right? I'm not going to practice right now with you guys. Big inhale, exhale, arms and foot down. If that was an extremely uncomfortable, sticky position, you did it correct. Last part, yogis. Standing half lotus. Right knee lifts, close the knee joint, pull the heel up to the inner groin. Now we did work this earlier this week. I want to repeat it. Remember, this is kind of the most beginner. Second would be a figure 4 chair. Third would be a Durdvasana standing pigeon. But if you're going to try it, you got to close the knee joint. The right foot, my left hand goes under on top of that right foot there. My right foot is now in front of my left hip flexor, and my right knee opens. Yogis, I do hold the foot, but try to stand up tall, okay? Breathe. I'm gonna do one round. If you wanna take it forward bend, if you wanna, we go chair here, we go toe squatting here. If you can start to activate, right? Every posture is active eventually. I push the right foot into my thigh. And eventually the foot won't slide down. I can let go of the hand, but I'm not going to force that today. My hips are really tight this morning. Okay, big inhale. Look what I did. I lift the knee up and then I release the leg and I shake it out a little bit. See this one? This is something we don't get to do enough of in yoga. I've taught it before, the leg swing. You swing the leg forward and back, you swing the leg side to side. Look at that, that's like strap stretching, see it? Open toe, across, all right? Standing half lotus, please. Knee lift, tree pose is basic. Figure four is kind of second. Standing pigeon, where I grab the leg is third. There's that knee joint. Right hand top of left foot, foot in front of hip flexor, knee opens. Don't let the pelvic tilt. Neutralize, stand up, guys. Half prayer. Last standing pose. Remember the idea, it's like we need kind of what we're not doing, and what we're not doing is going to probably be difficult for us neuromuscularly, emotionally. So to say it in a different way, we kind of need what's difficult for us to some extent, some days, right? Go slow, knee lifts, left foot down. Maybe you try to like, now again, you could do this in the middle of the room. Look, no wall. Right? A little more difficult to go lateral. There's revolve moon, there's open hip moon, right? It's a fun little challenge. Okay, continuing. Now, before we make our way down to the ground, it would be kind of final inversion arm balance. A big moment. I gave you some headstand options, some handstand option. I would say a nice yogi squat, maybe to get down here. If you want to take a quick sun salutation, not doing quite as much flow this class, so feel free to add a couple sun salutations. Now plant the hands. If you want to try it, you know what it is, the crow pose. Taken further is the handstand, the transition to headstand, one-legged crow, Kundinyasana, Pincha Mayurasana is forearm balance. Remember all these ones we've gone over in previous classes. I demonstrated the crow where the hands plant, the elbows kind of hug in. Index finger forward, yogis, not middle finger. Knees on the triceps, back spreads, arms bent is kind of first level, forehead on the block. Last moments here, handstand up the wall as if you're feeling good, guys, or a forearm balance, kind of the most power or most demanding full inversions. Headstand's kind of almost even second tier, more of an endurance hold. Shoulder stand would kind of be easiest full inversion probably. Last moments here for a big pose. All right, yogis. So listen, we're going to meet on the butt. And for our core training, we are going to try that low lasana. If you don't want to do it, today's Big Saturday. Big Saturday. You got time to take a nap if you want, right? So this is traditional yoga. I know it's not easy, but again, let me just put this in perspective really quick. So you take a rest, okay? Because I saved energy for your arms. I didn't make you whole planks and side planks today.
I didn't make you do too much on the arms because we're doing this now. Think about this. You have 10 people line up. Picture this. Would you agree that that one of the 10th person who's not strengthening the most of the 10 needs to strengthen the most? Yeah, you probably agree. The person who has the least vitamin C needs the vitamin C. So the person who doesn't have enough strength needs strength. The person who doesn't have vitamin C needs vitamin C. The person who doesn't move enough, they sit all day, needs to move, right? Let's keep going with this kind of vision. We all, each person needs what they're not doing in their lifestyle and in their practice. And people who don't move, and movement's going to be hard. People who don't strengthening is going to be very, very difficult. We all need what we're not doing. Again, I'll say the exact same. You need what's difficult for you. It's not personal. We all have the same tough choice to practice making. So, I say that because this posture is so difficult. You get up into this, and then within 1 second, it's all emotional and crazy. That's how you know it's changing you. Your favorite little yoga pose isn't doing much. You press through the hands, you lift the butt, and then you lift the legs and you hold position. Short burst of your most fiery, intense mind, body, spirit. Again, crossing the shins is easiest, right? Well, I guess lotus is easiest. We did prep lotus, so you can go lotus if you got it. Just be careful with that knee, right? The second knee, often called the lotus dilemma. I press down, lift the butt. I pull the butt back. I lift one foot and then the other. Now I could kind of do it like this too, right? Where I'm here, I pull the butt back, I lift one leg. I lean back, I try to get this second leg light. I want to see 3 rounds. Remember Hasta Bandha, gripping the fingers. Bow pose is the beginner version of this. It's basically the same, right? But I'm upping the ante today. I'm requiring more of you. Me being the kind of, I don't like the word teacher because I'm just kind of regurgitating all this other stuff I learned from people. I like the word leader. I'm more of like the lead of the group. I need to keep the bar high. I need to demand a lot of you. This famous yogi once said to his kind of crew he was leading, I'll show you how great you are. I'll remind you via demanding things of you, how great you are and can be, right? Through the practice, the bar's got to be too high, yogis, okay? We can't get weak in here. The mind sets the level, the kind of reality, the mind's vision of the self of the body. Mind over matter. Okay, looks like a lot of these are done. Just 3 good rounds can be adequate, but you work toward 5. Okay, laying on the back, please. Now I'm going to give you a little option here. Final active practice. So if you're feeling like we've done enough, bridge. This is linear and symmetrical and kind of sturdy. Bridge every day, right? Bridge every day, pretty much. Here, you're feeling good. Maybe something you hear or here. We do all types of stuff here, right? But I want a little bit more of the back body, guys. Think of this as the opposite of the L-sit. If you're feeling good, I want to see wheel. It's like wheel week. We did it Thursday, I believe. You're here and you're up. If you want a little bit extra, again, the one-legged bridge are kind of like the half extended bridge. And I'm actually shifting weight into the straight leg here. In a lot of power yoga, we do extended bridge, and what happens, be easy with this one, guys. I push through my elbows in the back of my head, and I'm actually shifting weight to the back of my head. So, in the crazy practice yoga circles, the only thing down is my heels and my head. My shoulders, arms, full body hovers. Now, again,
You draw a barrier, like that's getting very crazy. Last active back bends in your kind of fun, wild, creative vinyasa practice today, all right?
We're stretching after this, guys. You need what's difficult for you. Now that's tricky because there's significantly more risk where you're not, can't activate the body well. You tend to rush in and rush out and jerk the body and panic emotionally, you don't breathe. But that's really the good stuff. This kind of intense inner spiritual, emotional experience. You don't want to keep choosing the easy path. It's through the struggle and the challenge of the mind and body that we kind of evolve who we are by facing challenge, and we choose it. I don't make you. You must choose it, yogis, via your own, heart and soul. Okay. So last round or two, it is 8:54. So anything else here, yogis, is okay with me, but I would suggest being ready to calm down in a minute or so. Okay. Next week, hopefully, I'm going to try to get you back into full flowing yoga. This week was a little bit more kind of slow you down, keep you going, but not like a free flowing, a lot of movement class. Many styles of vinyasa. So again, I'm going to pick stretches maybe we're not doing enough of. You stretch in any way you feel like you need. Okay. Slowly, it looks like most of you are done there. I will make you a way up to a seated position.
And nice and slow here, guys. The half straddle. Right leg out, left foot in the Konasana style or the Siddhasana style. The difference is Konasana is a little bit more like this with the outer edge of my foot down. Siddhasana is more like the top of my foot down. Nice inhale, left arm goes high and a little side bend. Okay, please take your time. Switching sides, left leg out to the side straight, right leg in, here we go. Side bend yogis. That's a little side bend, right? Kind of like a triangle style position. Continuing, both legs wide, but knees now bent. I'm gonna do this for our twist. If you wanna do a little bit more standard style of seated spinal twist, good awareness. Knees knock left, turn around to the, so I go across the left knee to the back and I turn. You could do a little different things here, yogis. Like it's almost like a micro cat-cow there. Or look over left shoulder, look over right shoulder, moving back and forth with the neck. Even a little cat-cow in the neck style could add a different kind of flavor there. Okay. And then you take your time and you switch sides. Knees center, look at the spacing in the legs and turn around to the right. Again, I could kind of move the core a little bit. I'm not at my deepest. I could move the neck in rotation. Look left, look right. I could move the head kind of up and down. Okay. Continuing, legs forward, shake it out. Right knee bends, half virasana, last stretch. If there's other things you want to do, this is 2 parts. Knees together, top of foot down, pinky toe down, front of the ankle. Lean back. Now you can go further, right? But don't force it. This is also a shoulder stretch at this point. You know, whether I'm here or on the forearms. The goal isn't to go deeper, yogis. Let's say it's to experience yourself in many different ways of emotion and challenge and feeling good and presence. And the whole thing is spending an hour in many different forms of yourself, okay? Sitting back up, same side, right hand toward out on left pinky. You're kind of folding forward over the straight leg. Some days I round the spine, some days I keep the chest lifted, some days I bend the knee. Slowly sitting up, right leg release. Left leg bends, knees closer together. I know sometimes it might be tough to see with these dark pants on here, but my knees are together, my foot is outside the hip. I'm not sitting on the heel. You know, if you tend to sit on a heel, maybe you try sitting on a block, or there's other ways to do this position, laying on your chest or laying on your side, standing too, right? I'm leaning back first. And I'm instantly noticing like my right side thigh is way more kind of tight and sore, restricted. So I wouldn't spend as much time on this side necessarily, right? They do not need to be done the same. All right, now we're going to sit up tall, we're going to forward fold. It's kind of left hand toward right pinky toe. It's kind of like that rounded twist of the counter twist. Yogis, we have Rishi the class. I'd like you to take a moment to shake it out and set up for closing meditation. Remember in the beginning, I suggested a meditative style position, minimal physical effort, setting the foundation for our practice. I'm suggesting forms here. Ideally, yogis, not too much physical stimulation. All right, if you need to stretch a little bit and do your meditation on your own, that's fine. Options, you could do child pose, you could lay on the chest, you could lay on the back, you could do your seated meditation. All right, I want to see your most kind of internally aware. You know, the yogis say practice with your third eye, not your outer eyes. Your third eye doesn't really look at the environment of nature. You have 2 perfectly good eyes for that. The third eye is trying to look at external environment and energy, spirit, other dimension, and it's trying to look inside. That's why I keep saying close your eyes, yogis, because they're going to dominate kind of the input to the awareness. So you got to turn those things off, absolutely, in this final one, okay? You take a deep breath or 3 and you shake it out, and then you, in a sense, turn the body off, you turn the senses off. Even your breath now relaxes completely. And you go in, yogis, with your awareness to those deeper inner aspects that we're not as connected to. We're always outside with our awareness. You go in, yogis, to that limitless imagination and the journey inward. Now, I'm going to leave you here, yogis. I want you to take your time, please. We need what's tough for us. And often this is the toughest part, but this practice is what we're doing in all the other poses. If you can't do it here, how are you going to do it in half moon and standing splits? Go inward to the subtle. You finish up your passive meditation, eventually, maybe you do your prayer, your mantra. I will leave you here, yogis, okay?
I'll be here at 7:45 a.m. tomorrow for the recovery gentle kind of flexibility class. Namaste, yogis.